Hi, my name is Claudette Seele. I'm from Peoria, Illinois, the 10th Circuit Court of Peoria, Illinois. The guardian ad litem in my case, her name was Ann Piper. My case began with an order of protection that a mother had filed on behalf of her daughter who was being abused by her father, who worked for DCFS. I was tutoring the girl at the time. The case number began with 21 OP 00169. Again, Ann Piper was in charge of this custody battle, and she went for several months collecting evidence against the father. In fact, I have right here the original court document, complete with all the testimony of the girl, right here. And I have an entire file cabinet full of all the evidence that I collected against the father when I had to win my case against him. This went on for 2 years. I kept a diary. It's right here. It's called She Too. It is me going through hell in the court system and almost losing my teaching license. I was not in a custody battle myself. I didn't have CPS after me. I was just a teacher who was tutoring one of my students who I had known for years, one of my dance students during the pandemic. This went on for so long that I thought it was, just when I thought it was over, I had to go back into court and get this gentleman off my case, the one that worked for DCFS and was a psychopath. That's when I wrote this book. I'm just letting you know this is how I got out of the situation. It cost me my entire life savings. What happened was this little girl testified to multiple psychologists that were connected to the court system of extensive abuse. She also told me, but I didn't need to get involved because she was already in a custody battle. There was already a GAL assigned. Behind the scenes, the whole time that her mother had temporary custody of her, had taken custody away from the father, he was manipulating and plotting a scheme against me. One day, he sent 5 policemen over to pull her out of my car because I was in the process of bringing her to her grandparents' house, which is where she had been staying at the time. And the police showed up and acted like I was a criminal and had kidnapped her. He had told them that. And he had been manipulating the GAL behind the scenes. We now know through court evidence that he had paid off the GAL and got her to flip to his side. All the attorneys involved, the attorneys of the grandparents, the aunt, myself, my family, everybody that was involved, that was pulled into this case, got restraining orders, and the GAL turned on the little girl and went with the father, and the father then paid off the ex-wife so that she would flip as well, and they came after me because they had to make sense. They had to make sense of why. We're going to say that she lied, but that's not going to make sense. We're going to put her in the hospital, which that's where they took her when they took her out of my car, by force. It was very ugly. We're all traumatized for life. My little girl was 6 at the time and saw this. And so they take her to the hospital. They deprogram her and tell her that, you need to retract some of your story. They got her to retract the most horrific allegations and said, this family just needs a little counseling. And they sent her to court-ordered counseling for like 6 weeks with her father to reunify them. He then made us go and sign lifetime restraining orders, and it framed all of us, her grandparents who helped raise her, her aunt, myself. And my own attorney told me that if I didn't sign this permanent restraining order to stay 500 feet away from her, that I would lose my teaching license. that there was some kind of dirt on me. Well, there wasn't any dirt on me. We now know the GL report had nothing on me, but we weren't allowed to see that. We were all framed and forced and coerced under extreme duress. Then he used this order to defame me, to stalk me, say that it was all my fault, that I had brainwashed her into believing that she was abused. And the court went along with this, and I couldn't go anywhere for 2 years because he would stalk me and entrap me into violating the order. He did this to all of us, even his own parents. After he came after me in a public event, and screamed horrific things at me, and with my child there, chased me out of the venue. My husband said that he would cash in his whole 401k to get this man off my case. When I finally was able to get a good attorney to take my case, he paid her over $10,000 to get her to, that was just to start with for a retainer, to get her to get off, to get him out of my life, and to undo the illegal orders that were put against me and used to frame me. He sent so much paperwork to my employer that I couldn't teach in that district for a long time, because he made it look like I was the abuser. So he got away. He got his daughter back, and no one's ever seen, this was like 4 years ago. No one's seen her or heard from her since. And she was very close with her family. He immediately alienated her from her entire family, from her dance family, which was at my studio, from everyone that she had a relationship with. And as you know, the Stockholm syndrome sets in pretty quickly, and she went along with the whole thing. So it's a long story. I'm sorry, I can't get it in 5 minutes. And you can read the books. They're on Amazon. I'm known as God's Girl 77 on TikTok, and Miss Renee is my name on there. So that's my story. There's so much more to it. So I'm just trying to help everybody and join in the fight against family court RICO. That's what it is. It's racketeering for money and trafficking children. And I watched it happen in real time, and I wasn't even in a custody battle. So thank you for listening.